Welcome to Palace News. Today, T and I will be talking about who we think are the upcoming stars in our academy, both the U18s and U21s. If you have anybody you want us to talk about, who we don't talk about, please drop it in the chat below. We'll be sure to bring it up. Put a Q next to it. Whatever you need to do. As we always say, if you enjoy the stream, please like and subscribe. We be sure to support. We just trying to put content out there for you guys to talk about. T and I follow a lot of the 21s and 18s, so I figured it'd be a good show to do. So, again, if you have a question, put a Q next to it, and we'll go from there. So, T, what's going on, bro?
Man, another day, brother. Another day. We're doing good, man. Doing good. Actually, really excited to do this show in particular because I think it's just fun to be talking about Palace, but not the usual side of Palace with the senior team. Talk about what's going on in our academy, what guys can look out for. Because I'm sure we have a lot of fans that that tune in to us and follow Crystal Palace, but probably don't aren't as in tune with what we got going on in the academy. So I think it's always fun when we can take a second to talk about these guys.
Yeah, I agree. So let's start with the 18s, U18s. As people probably know, Rob Quinn left earlier this year. I'm not sure why he left. Kind of a mystery. I was talking to you before the show. You don't really know what's going on with the academy unless you hear rumors or see a tweet or something, because they don't give a lot of information about the youth academy team. So, but again, Rob Quinn's gone. The coaches now are Dave Cooper, who actually is a very good coach. He used to coach the U15s. Gary Izzet, the head of the academy, he's also helps. And I noticed that his first name is last name is Todorov. I think can't remember his first name. He's played for Tottenham. But I remember Ash Agbononi mentioned him in his in that little video they did on him.
Oh yeah, the little background video they did with Asher.
Exactly
Yep, he
on
sure
him. So
did.
he helps
He
out.
called, he
So
called him
currently,
Toddy. He called him
Toddy, exactly.
Toddy,
I know his
think.
last name is Todorov. If anybody in the chat wants to remember, I know he's Bulgarian, international former Bulgarian, but I don't remember his first name. You guys remember his name? Put it in the chat. So currently they are in first place in the U18 Southern Division, 34 points, 1 point ahead of Southampton, who are second on the 33 points, having played 2 games less than Palace. They've only had 2 losses in the last 15 matches, and they lost in the Youth Cup to a very, very strong Man City side, 1-0. T, what are your thoughts on how the U18 have done so far in the season?
Man, they have hit the ground running with the new coaches. They're playing really well, playing really good ball. I think a big thing for them that I'm sure we'll get into as we talk about these kids is leadership. They have a very, very good captain on that 18 team who's playing lights out right now. We'll get to him, but I think they're playing together. They have a lot of spirit, and I think one of the things that stands out about is they've dealt with some injuries throughout the season with certain guys, and they've been able to weather that storm. So,
yeah, Tim, you're right. George King has made the move up from the 1821s. Good player. We're going to talk about him in a bit also. But interesting, the success of the 18s has come, funny enough, when a certain Jesse Derry has moved up from the 1821. Not a coincidence, I don't think. I think they've come together more of a team, but we'll get to Jesse. We're going to talk about Jesse, of course. But the first player, and actually, if I can do it, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try if I can bring up.
You trying to share a screen with them?
Share screen of here we go. So this has the whole squad. I'll share that, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah, you can click on each one, and it brings up their profiles too, which is nice.
He's actually right there. We'll talk about the first player is Jasper Judd. He is a right back. Been at Palace since he was 7 years old. Earned his scholarship in July of 2024. And is part of that very successful 22-23 Floodlit Cup team that won versus Stoke. And again, I mentioned before, that's who Dave Cooper managed. But I love the kids. The right wing back, they play, just so people know, they play the same system as the first team. So they play with wing backs, the whole 3-4-2-1. Jasper is the right wing back. But T, any thoughts on Jasper Judd?
Well, I love the fact that you got a kid that's come up with the club since pre-academy.
Yeah,
Like he's like Palace through and through, which is really great. I know that he scored his first goal for the U18s back in September of last year against Norwich, which is a really good
right.
thing for him. But seems like he's developing really well since he signed his scholarship and things. And great that we have a right wing back in the academy that's developing. Of course, when we talk about with somebody like a Caleb Kapora, but I
Right.
think it's always good to see youth players that are doing well in those types of positions of need in the first team as well.
Yeah, definitely. There are wing backs in our 21s, but yeah, I think that Jasper's probably the one to look for in the 18 side. So look out for him. Next player I want to talk about, I'll and the goalkeepers, by the way, Harry Whitworth, by the way, because that is actually Joe's little brother. People don't know that's his little brother. He hasn't really played this year, but yeah, he's a up and coming player. I want to get to there he is. Sean, I think it's pronounced Samide. I believe he's a
Yeah,
center back.
Somade is how they pronounce it on one of the
Right.
broadcasts I watched.
Right. Sean Samadi, center back, joined at U14s. He's part again of that, also part of that 22-23 team that won the Floodlit Cup. Those who don't know, the Floodlit Cup is basically a U15 version of the FA Youth Cup. It's something that Palace have participated in for a very long time. It starts out in two different regions, the North and the South, and they come together at the end for a national final. And Palace won it like 2 of the last like 5 years. They do really well. If they haven't won it, they got into the semifinals of it or finals of it. So they do really well in it. But again, Sean's part of that team, signed a scholarship in July 2024. Very capable center back, good with his feet, good in the air, technically very good. But T, what are your thoughts on Sean?
Another kid who's coming through the ranks that's played in some pretty important games with the Floodlit Cup in 2022-23. So he's played in some high competitive games. Love the fact that it's another center back that's coming through the ranks that could be doing some big things for us, hopefully in time. I know that he debuted under Rob Quinn, which is a
He
good
did.
thing. So he's still carrying through with making appearances even under different managers and things. So shout out to him, man, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do moving forward.
Yeah. Also next to him on this list here is Charlie Walker Smith. He's also a center back. Ball playing center back. He's 17 years old. Again, part of that U15 team. You can hear me say a lot. A lot of these players playing the same U15 team are still here. He actually plays for Wales and has played for U16 and 17 Wales side. Got his scholarship in July of 2024. Again, another ball playing, quick, very intelligent center back. Do you have any thoughts on Charlie Walker Smith? T?
Looks like he also represents Wales. Is that right?
That's what I just said. Yeah, he does on 16 and
Yeah.
17
Okay.
level. He has. Yeah, he's
So I
international
think
already. Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool and great to see, but both him and Sean Samade, they both have the ability to also play at right back, which
Correct.
is nice.
Yep.
It's just when you have that three at the back system, it's nice to have those guys that have the flexibility that can do those important things. I guess that's part of the ball playing center back archetype, so to speak. But no, just another guy that looks like he could do some good things with us. Signed up with us in July as well. It sounded like we did a lot of really good work as far as signing guys back in July last year.
Yeah, definitely. It's very important. That's the age when they come up from the 15s, scholarship wise, to get them signed up before around 16s, so they can get them. There's no 17s for academy. It skips a year, so it's 15, 16, and it goes to 18. So a lot of kids will play up for a year or so, especially if they're talented. I'm gonna get to him, Tim. Drake Thomas is one. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about him in a minute, Tim. He's paying a year up. He's a very, very, very highly rated prospect in our academy for sure. But I get to him in a second, Tim. I want to get to some of the more attacking players. So you mentioned before. Actually, let me first go to Jerome Osei. Tall midfielder. Joined again U15s in February 2023. Again, part of that U15 side that played in the National League Floodlit Cup. Got his scholarship July of 2024. First goal was against West Brom in November of last year, 2024, and he scored 2 goals in a recent 2-1 win. We came back against Leicester. I just watched the highlights again today. A very promising player, tall, skillful, can run at you. I love the way he plays. But your thoughts on Jerome Osei, T?
And that win ahead of Aston Villa, he had a really nice goal too.
Yeah.
But like you said, long, he's rangy, nice attacker for us. I feel like he was one of the guys that was talked about like in high regard on that Floodlit Cup team.
He was
as
being he had the height, the speed at that age, and you don't really see a lot of. So yeah, definitely.
I mean, I just think it's great that we can sit here and mention this many quality guys, but it's great that it's also coming across with our attacking guys too. Jerome's got talent, and interested to see how that transitions for him going up through the ranks.
Yeah, I agree. D talks a lot about the catchment area, and our 18s is a really good example of how strong it can be. Again, we've got the academy, we've got the facilities now. These kids now that we're talking about now are the ones I'm looking forward to seeing in 3 or 4 years in the first team. I think the 21s, a lot of them it might have passed them by because of the fact that we didn't have the academy done. But these kids have gone through an academy that's totally done. All the pitches are done. You got the facility.
A lot of them came in with this as Cat 1. Yeah.
Exactly. So next player I want to talk to is actually, you mentioned before, he's the captain of the U18. It's Seb Williams. Currently 17 years old, midfielder. Again, part of Dave Cooper's under-15 Floodlit Cup winning side. He captained the U16s. He got a scholarship. He's got a scholarship in the 23-24 season. He had a goal of the month contender in January. He scored a great goal against Spurs. If you haven't seen it, it's a part of the whole Palace goals of the month. If you want to go back and look at it, it's on YouTube. He finished the season in 23-24 with 32 appearances. He had 5 goals and 3 assists. And so far, he has had this season 5 goals in 20 odd appearances. I love the kid. He's very technical, good leader. Plays as a number 8, box to box, sometimes as a 10. But your thoughts, T, if you have any on Seb Williams?
I really like his game. He's smooth. He's great on the ball. He can put in some really quick and intricate passes that connects, the midfield to the attack. He seems like a really good leader out there when it comes to communicating with his teammates and things. I love his durability. Obviously, the thing that's nice is that, he's more traditionally or plays mostly as an 8, which is one of those dual 8s that we have in our midfield.
Right.
But he's contributing goals and assists, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is something that we, honestly, speaking about the first team, we don't see that from our midfielders. I mean, not to say that they're not good or they're not quality, but that's just not a part of their games, I would say. So that makes you a difference maker right there when it comes to what we have and don't have. So I'm interested to see, how he progresses. I mean, being 17 and captaining this team and having multiple instances of captainship throughout your time in the academy. I mean, I can only expect him to then make that jump up to the U21s and then find himself once again being a guy who, finds his way into leading, which is a great quality to have. So I wouldn't be surprised if he makes that leap, and hopefully before we know it, we'll start seeing him make some training appearances with the first team.
Yeah, to answer to your question, Tim, he's only appeared a couple of times for the 21s. I think they're really trying to, mostly as a sub, they really want to keep him in the 18s this year because, again,
he's 17.
He's the captain. Yeah. He's the captain. He's 17. But I can guarantee next season he'll be playing in the 21s for sure, a lot more often. So let's get to the elephant in the room, one Jesse Derry. So, as I'm sure everyone knows here, Jesse Derry is the son of former Palace player Sean Derry. He can play left or right wing. He's part again of that U15. Actually, he was part of the 21-22 U15 Floodlit team, so a different one than the one before. Earned his scholarship in 23-24. He plays for the England under-17s. Currently away now with U18s. He had 12 goals in 12 matches for the U18s, but was moved up to the 21s recently. And as we all know, he's rumored to be leaving. We don't know where to, because apparently he's not going to sign a professional contract, which is a real shame. I rate him highly. But I will say this, all right. I was lucky enough when I was back here in England in September. We'll get to this play later on. Tyler White is his father and my nephew are very good friends. So I got in to see the Fulham versus Palace game. Palace lost 5-0, the academy game. And I was, when you watch the games at the academy, the seating is very close to the bench, to the field, but you cannot cheer. You're not allowed to watch. You just watch. You're not allowed to cheer. I was watching Jesse's body language when they were losing, and it was not good. It wasn't good. He was talking back to the coaches. It was really poor. And I'm not saying he does it all the time. I'd only seen him one time in person, but I didn't like what I saw from him. I watched him in 21s. He's much better with the older players. But he can't act that way because obviously he's a younger player on the 21s. So he can't do that. So I'm worried about his attitude, but that's not to say that he's not going to be a good player one day. Obviously, he wants to win. Obviously, he doesn't like to lose, but I found that kind of interesting. But T, your thoughts on Jesse Derry?
I think it goes without saying how talented of a player he is. I don't think you can deny that by any means. I think it's unfortunate that he's not interested in signing a professional contract with us. But one thing I will say, and I do believe, or I don't believe in, I guess you would say, is I don't believe in hating on kids. That's what it is. He's a child. He's a child. So I'm not going to sit here and name call or speak disparagingly on a child. But what I will say is, he has made the decision between himself, his representation, maybe even his father, about what his best pathway is. And
exactly.
I hope that after his time with us is over, he finds success wherever he goes. But while he's with us, I hope he continues to play at a high level like he has, and that he enjoys his time. So
yeah. Well, I mentioned him here because he's primarily a U18, but he is playing right now only with the 21. So people that know that, but he's actually doing well. Come off the bench a lot. Had a great played well against on was it Monday? No, Sunday we beat Man City 3-2. Came on as a sub and helped us score that third goal. So credit to him there.
He had the pass that led to the assist.
That led to the assist, right? When Dylan Reed scored the winning goal. Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
So
yep. And he seemed happy for his team, which was good.
He did. Again, like he wants to win. So I think when they were losing 5-0, he was upset. But I'm sure, again, with older kids around, he's not gonna act that way, and that's fine. I understand wanting to win as much as the next person. So, but I didn't like the body language. But I guess again, he's young. He's young, so he'll grow out of that hopefully. Next player I want to focus in is this one here is Tyler White. Again, I know him personally. He's predominantly a fullback and play midfield. Just turned 18 in March 4th. Part of the 21-22 side, the same side as Jesse Derry that played in the Floodlit Cup. Earned his scholarship 23-24 end of that season. And he made his first appearance for the 21s actually in September 23 at the age of 16. Last season, he had a total of 15 appearances. He had 1 goal and 1 assist. T, your thoughts on Tyler White? What I say about Tyler, he's a very flexible player. He can play, again, defense, midfield, play anywhere on the pitch, basically, as far as right-sided midfield, center midfield, etc. But your thoughts on Tyler?
Shout out to the American in the Palace Academy. That's all I gotta say.
Why do you say that?
Because that's his country, is the U.S.
Tyler, no, he's not.
Look on the website and look at the country that they list with Tyler White.
No, I know, but no. Again, trust. I know him. I know his dad. He's dad from South London. I don't know why they put that there. It's interesting they put that there. Maybe I'll ask my nephew again, but
maybe I would expect that it's a representation thing. I would, but hey, if you're repping, you're repping. But no, but shout out to him, man. He's made a good amount of appearances for us. And like once again, I love the fact that he's a part of what we're trying to do with some really powerful fullbacks. I think that's the one thing. If we're gonna crank anything out of our academy, I would want it to be wingbacks with the way that we're playing right now. But now he was the one that assisted Derry's kick, right? That scissor kick
for that crazy goal. He scored 100%.
Was that Tyler's assist?
It was Tyler's assist. Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
that
Yeah.
crazy goal
Okay.
that Darius scored. Was it last year or the year before?
I think that was 23-24. I want to say.
Oh, okay.
One
Yeah,
of
it was a great
let
goal by
me.
Derek. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, it's a great goal by Derek. You're right.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
next I want to go to speaking of fullbacks. Here Dean Benema, left back, left wing back. Because again, we play wing backs. Very good,
Mhm.
excellent going forward and defending. He joined us at U14 level. Again, he was part of the 22-23, not the Darian White team that's the year after. U15 Floodlit Cup champions. So that's going to be the players like Chuck Sicoli, things on that
Is that the
team. And
team that lost in the finals?
no, Tyler's
Or
team lost. They won.
Tyler's team lost? Okay, they
Tyler's
won.
team
Okay.
lost. These kids won. Good Chuck Sicoli. I'll get to him in a minute. He scored a goal from inside his own half. You remember that goal? They won 3-1 against Stoke. Scored a goal,
It's
crazy
crazy.
goal. Dean Benema started a scholarship in 24-25. So this season, he scored his first goal against Leicester in October 24. And again, as another player we mentioned before, he's also we mentioned Derry. He's also part of. He's actually England international too. U17s. He got called up in February and again in March. So Dean's away now. Will be away. Sorry, with the was away. Sorry, earlier in the week, I believe. Early in the month. Sorry, with the England U17s team. But your thoughts, if you know anything about Dean Benema?
He seems. I mean, naturally, we're still talking about the U18 youth level, but he's very complete, which is what you want to see. A guy who can attack, a guy who can defend. I mean, obviously he can play at a high level just because of the fact that he's getting England U17 calls, which is fantastic. Of course, that's what you want to see from your academy players.
Right.
I'm really interested to see how he comes along and what he may look like as he takes the step from U18 to U21 and possibly even further. So
yeah. Moving on to he's right there. George King. I think somebody mentioned him before. Yeah.
yeah,
Mentioned him.
I
Let me
think
go
it was
back to
Tim.
Tim's question. Let me go back. I think I have his question here. Did I start it? Let me see if I start it. I didn't start it, but we'll get to it. All right. So George King, another versatile player, can play center back, can also play as a defensive midfielder. Got a scholarship in 23-24. He was part of the U15 Floodlit Cup champions, the Floodlit team. Again, this is the team that was Tyler White's team and Jesse. They were runner-ups to Sunderland in 21-22. In 23-24, he had 31 appearances, had 6 goals and 2 assists. Again, remember, he's a center half. He's not
a center half.
Yeah, center back, right. And he made his debut recently for the under-21s versus West Brom in February. Talented player. Your thoughts, if you know anything, T, about George King?
I mean, from what I've seen from him, he's a really, really solid player at the back. It seems like he's kind of seen that acceleration from the 18 to 21s kind of in coincidence with the 21s losing Mofi Jemide.
Exactly. They needed someone to step up for that. You're right about that. Yep.
So they probably needed someone to step up, but I mean, step up he has, man. He's made the transition. He's played really, really well, man. So I think it's great that we got players that are good enough to do that, to make that jump, not just from season to season, but within season and play well.
And Tim's right. He played against the City on Sunday and played really well. I mean, you have to remember he's a 17-year-old kid and playing with older players and played really well against Man City. Everybody knows they're one of the top academies in the country, and he did a really good job against them. So Tim's right about that. So next player I want to get to is another right there, Ewan Danaher, far left. Came to the club. He's been at the club since age of 7. Either center back also, or can play DM, exactly the same as George King. He's part of the U15 team that won versus Stoke. Earned his scholarship in July of 24, so about a year ago. His first appearance for the U18 was August of 24 against Birmingham City. A very versatile player. Again, another hybrid center back / DM. Here I watch him a lot. U18 to hear a lot about him. He starts almost every game. Any comments, T, on Ewan Danaher?
I think the thing that comes across with Ewan the most is just that he has been consistent in that U18 team this year.
Yep.
He's healthy. and he plays, and he plays at a high level, and I think that's a good thing. And yeah, it's great to see that kid that's been with the club that long is still with us and having a lot of success.
Yeah, it's a great point you make, because that is a thing that that's my most concerning, is that a lot of kids do have either growth injuries or injuries at the youth level, and either you don't hear what they are, and or they don't recover. I mean, players that you think are going to be good players, because you hear about them, they just get injured. So you're right about
Well,
Danner
there are a
and
few
Scott.
that we could speak about right now that we expected to see more from, or see them kind of ascend throughout the ranks faster had it not been for injuries and things. And I mean,
Yeah,
at this level, you have so many players that are chomping at the bit to get their opportunity, whether they're in the same team as you or a level beneath you, where you could kind of use the cliche phrasing of one of the best abilities is availability at this
availability,
level.
100%. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
if you can't, like we talk about, like we don't really hear about the injuries. You know what I mean? I think the reason why you don't hear about the injuries at the academy level is because it's next man up to the fullest degree.
yeah.
You
It really
know,
is.
so
Yeah. Going to skip a couple. I was going to talk about. I want to get to two important. I want to get to him, the main striker, which is Ben Casey. Then I'll end up on the 18th with Joel Drakes Thomas. But Ben Casey, 17 years old, signed a scholarship in July of 2024. He's a forward. He's a scorer. He can get in behind. He's part of the team that won versus Stoke. He actually scored a goal in a 3-1 win. Him, Chuck Cody scored. I can't remember who scored the third goal. I don't remember who scored the third goal. He has 11 goals this season. Scored recently. His first goal for the U18s was versus Arsenal in March of 2024. And he finished the season last year with 7 goals on 11 appearances. He played up a year. Last year he played as a 16-year-old and scored, like I said,
he's
7 goals
scoring at that kind of clip.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any other thoughts on Ben Casey? He's the main striker in the 18s, by the way. People want to know. He's the main guy. So.
And for a lot of people that may or may not know him, he was the one that got a little bit of viral attention with some highlight reel goals that he scored at the lower levels, coming in to the 18s. Man, he's talented. Like you can see that there are certain players that's like when you watch him, it's like, man, he's special. Like Benji Casey seems like that type of guy, and honestly, I think that he will be in discussion more heavily for playing for our 21s if somebody like Ademola Alanbomi doesn't come back from a loan and is playing right now. You know what I mean? Like I think he would have, maybe more involvement, in our 21s. But he's one that I look forward to watching him develop and see if that he could become more as far as striking goes.
Actually, I have this is the Villa program, and actually Benji Casey was featured in there. So I want to just say a couple things that he mentioned in his profile. He said that his favorite player idol was Cristiano Ronaldo. His favorite current player for Palace is Eberechi Eze. In 5 years' time, he sees himself playing in the first team for Palace, ideally, and that would be his dream. What he wants to improve on. My overall game as a striker, you've got to be able to hold up the ball, get in behind, pass and move, impact the game. All of these things contribute to being a complete striker. So his head's in the right place. And he joined Palace as a U9 at the U9 level. So interesting. So that's a little bit about Ben Casey. So, and the last player I want to get to, is he here? Let me see make sure he's here. I don't see him.
He's on there. He doesn't have a picture.
Yeah,
he's at the bottom. He's towards the bottom.
I don't see him.
He just doesn't have a picture. Joel Drakes Thomas.
Yeah.
He's before. He's higher than Brownlee. Let me see. But he has a page on here. Yeah.
Funny enough, I don't
versatile
see it.
forward. He's been playing up in the.
I got it right there. Got him. I'll actually click on it, even though he doesn't have a picture.
Yeah, there's a picture on there.
There you go.
I think it's because he's playing up.
Yeah, exactly. So the final player we'll talk about in the U18s is Joel Drakes Thomas. versatile forward. Only 16, played for the England under 16s. Technically very, very good. Playing up, again, as T mentioned, he's only 16, playing up with the 18s. His first start and goal came in a 4-2 comeback win against Chelsea, December, just gone. He had 3 assists in a game versus Villa in February and a 4-1 win. Kid
He was
is
amazing.
very, very talented.
Blazing down the right side.
Yeah, T, your thoughts on Joel Drakes Thomas? Double barrel
Man,
name, double barrel name.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about this kid until he made his first appearance with the 18.
Oh, me either. Like, I'm not gonna lie, me either.
By the way, I'm like, yo, who is this kid? Where did he come from? And you come to find out that he's 16, and it's like, oh, okay. And the first thing that stands out about him, outside of his hair, is his pace. Man, he has blistering pace. He gets down that right flank, which in the Aston Villa match where he had the hat trick of assists, he's playing down that right flank, and he's just delivering pass after pass, skating by guys, getting to the byline, cutting back passes. He's what we would hope to see from our fullbacks down the line for sure. But the fact that he's doing it right now, and he hasn't even signed a professional contract yet, I think it's important that we nurture this talent correctly.
Yeah, and we want to get him signed. We don't want to have what might happen to Jesse Derry happen to Drake Thomas. This kid, it has a massive future, I believe. So
for sure,
but you're right about that. So yeah. So before we move on, want to get to Tim's comment. Drake Thomas has impressed the hell out of me. Excellent dribbler and gets into dangerous areas all the time. Head turning performances, and again, he's only 16 years old, which is crazy. And you're right, Monty.
Mm-hmm.
A baby compared to you and me, but not everybody else in the chat. But yeah, shout out to you. Let's move on to the 21s, T. So first, let me get your thoughts on 21s in general. I'll give you the where they are in the league, etc. But give me your thoughts, and I'll pull up some pictures on those guys. Go ahead.
The 21s are a solid team. They've got some good talent. And I think some guys that I think we could really see possibly making the transition to the big leagues with the senior team. They are dealing with some injuries and things, and the depth of talent may not be the same as what we see with across those 18s. 18s got a lot of really, really good guys, but it kind of harkens back to what you spoke about earlier about the fact that this team is still comprised of some of the older regime guys that weren't a part of the new wave of Cat 1 recruited kids in a lot of ways. But there are some, even yet and still, there are some really, really solid, talented players on this team.
So quick update on their standings. They're currently ranked 5th in the Premier League. It's actually not like the 18. It's not North and South. It's just one big league. They're 5th. They played 18 matches, 32 points. They recently being Sunday, beat the first place team, Man City, 3-2 after being down 2-0. And there were goals by players we're going to cover. Rio Cardenas, who's a right wing back / left wing back. Indola Mustafa, who I think is the best player in that team right now. And then Dylan Reed, who I believe is the captain. So let's start actually with Jake Grant, who is right here. Jake Grant is the same, came from the 18, same age as Mofi Jemede, so he's playing up. He is 19. He's a pacey. Actually, sorry, he's not playing up. He's actually 19, just turned 19 to January 1st. He's pacey, a good passer. He was in that squad that won the International Cup last year. The 21 played up. Last year was on the 18 side. He had 31 appearances last season for the U18s, and he had 3 appearances last year for the 21s. He and Mofi were the backbone of the 18 defensive pairing last season when they played more of a 4-2-3-1. But your thoughts? I believe he's Irish too, by the way. But I'm not 100%. I think he's Irish.
Is
anyway, I believe he is. I gotta double check that. Yeah, your thoughts on Jake?
They have Ireland as his country.
It is, right? Yeah, I thought he was. Yeah. So
the thing that sticks out to me when I watch Jake Grant play, and I always look for this specifically with center backs, and a lot of possession-based midfielders, poise. And he has great poise
He
on the
does.
ball.
He does.
And a lot of times, the reason why I pay attention to that is because there has to be, and I would bet any money on, there's a direct correlation between poise and processing speed and ability.
Interesting.
And I think the guys that can process the game in a certain way at a certain speed, they look very poised on the ball. They don't look hurried. They don't look rushed or press resistant, as we call it, because they can process the game better than a lot of kids do. And that's especially important to have that from center backs, because if they're going to be your last line of defense, you want those guys to be highly intellectual guys who understand how to play with the ball at your feet, where it needs to go, who are our best assets to move the ball to and from. So that's the thing that strikes me about Jake Grant. Not to mention the fact that he does possess great pace, and he plays really strong at the back for us. I mean, you got him and Mofi back there when Mofi's healthy. That's a really, really quality team.
What I like about him now is that playing in Glasgow's system and playing in a back three, he's quick, he's intelligent. Like I said, I think he'll actually thrive more in a back three than in the back two, because again, he's got the ability to play, that intelligence, that speed, to recovery speed, etc. So read the games really well. So look forward to seeing him. Again, we're not going to cover any of the players that are in the first team, so I'm not going to talk about Caleb and Justin, etc. But the next player I want to talk about was on the Marbella trip, and that is Caden Rodney, far left. So Caden has played up throughout his entire Palace career. He's 20 years old, turns 21 in October. He's a versatile, can play center back, midfield, right back. My only issue with Caden, before I go on, is I just don't know where he's going to actually fit in. He plays everywhere. He's like the jack of all trades, master of none type of thing, or Swiss knife type thing. I'm worried about him from that standpoint, but he is versatile. He got an England call up for the U18s back in October 2021. Made debut for Palace August 22 in the Carabao Cup in the game against Oxford, where he played actually a left back. So again, he can play anywhere.
Yeah.
Last year, he had 24 appearances for the 21s and helped us again win the International Cup versus young PSV. But your thoughts, T, on Caden Rodney? Again, he was on the trip with the first team, Marbella, which is a good experience for him recently.
I love the fact that he does have that ability to be a jack of all trades, because I think when you think about a player like that, that means that they have a package of skills that works across the pitch. Meaning he can attack, he can defend, he can pass. He's smart enough to play in a plethora of different positions. And as great of an asset that is to have as a manager, as a player, it can be tough, because I guess your natural progression, can be affected because of the fact that you don't specialize in a certain area. You know what I mean? I feel like when I watch him and I see him and I look at his body type and things, I've seen him play at center back, but he doesn't strike me as a center back.
Yeah, I agree. It's midfield, a DM probably most likely, right?
It's probably midfield, DM. I mean, if he's going to be a DM, I would like him to maybe, get a little bit stronger. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the thing is, he can help you throughout that midfield. So if you need a wide midfielder, if you need a 6, even an 8, I wouldn't go as far as 10, because I haven't really seen the attacking acumen.
I haven't either. Yeah, I haven't seen that from him.
But I feel like if you decide to just focus in on Caden Rodney as a central midfielder, I think it's going to help his progression the most, because now he can focus, learn the really intricate ins and outs of the positions, the things that can set him apart from other guys, or the things that in other ways would kind of discount him from other guys if he doesn't learn them by focusing. But I would like to see him do that, just play in the midfield a little bit more, just because of the fact I think that's probably the most suitable area for it.
And Tim, we're gonna get to Dylan Reed, but you're right. I watched the game against City back because it was on YouTube. I watched it on Palace TV, and I watched the whole game, and he did play really well with Dylan Reed in that midfield too, on against City, which is a very tough opponent. So you're right about that. So we'll see what happens. So we'll move on now to right here. He's a wing back, Rio Cardenas. He can play left wing back or right wing back. He's actually right footed. He can play both sides. He's 19 years old. He is a Trinidad and Tobago. Shout out to my wife. Under 17.
Trini.
And under 20, he got called up to the under 20s in February 24 for one of their tournaments. I think CONCACAF had a tournament over here in I think it was in Mexico. I'm not really sure. He finished the 23-24 season with the U18s. He made 18 appearances, had 2 goals, and he signed his pro contract in July of 2024. He has been injured of late, which is why you haven't heard much from him. But he's fit, thank goodness. But like Caleb's been playing more with the first team obviously training, so he's going to be the primary right wing back going forward. I would guess he can play on the left side too. But your thoughts on Rio Cardenas, T?
I like Rio. I like him, man. He was one of the guys that I didn't really have my eye on earlier on, like when he was in the U18s as much. But then when he started to make those appearances for the U21s right before like getting hurt, started noticing him and his pace, dribbling ability. He was putting in a really good ball from the wing. I think he could be something, man. I'd like to see him get more chances, maybe in training with the first team eventually, right, and seeing what he can do. I mean, because I think honestly, before we know it, he could have a situation similar to Hindelo's, where he's getting senior team call ups with Trini and playing in our academy.
Academy football. Yeah, that's a good point. I do love his flexibility. I've seen him. I mean, 18, he played a lot of left wing back. I didn't realize he wasn't left footed until they brought it up in a broadcast one time.
Because he's actually really good with both feet.
He's very good with both feet. And then he moves over to the right side, and you're like, okay, it's natural. So I love the fact he can play both sides, which is great for him. He's very attacking. He's very quick. Might be of Caleb, but a more versatile Caleb Kapora. But yeah, really good player. Tim mentioned him before. We'll get to him now. Dylan Reed. He's a central midfielder. Just turned 20 in February. Joined us from St. Mirren. He's one of the players that Dougie got or whoever got from Scotland, where we did a lot of Scotland and Ireland kind of scouting. He debuted actually for St. Mirren at 16 in March of 2021. He's the youngest ever player to play in the Scottish Premiership. So he has a big future if he can stay fit. He's an injury hit, unfortunately.
Injuries.
But he did score that winning goal. I mentioned the Man City game, the 3-2 comeback on Sunday. Palace won. He scored the winning goal. I believe he was the captain for that team. I'm pretty sure he captained that game on Sunday. But your thoughts on Dylan Reed?
I think he captained the Villa win too.
The Villa win too. Your thoughts on Dylan Reed, T?
The thing that you mentioned about him that's interesting with the whole injury thing is, from what I've understood, he was the midfielder that was on the accelerated path, even over Devaney.
I thought so too. And then it just,
But the injuries are the ones that are the things that really set him back, like which is interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, he's played some pretty big time men's football already. You know, with debuting with St. Mirren. So I guess it was definitely the thought process of Dougie and the rest of the crew would bring him in, that hey, we can see this kid accelerate through our academy and become a useful piece in the first team, which I don't think is out of the question for him at all right now. You know what I mean?
If he stays fit, there's an opportunity there for sure.
As long as he stays fit, and I think with a loan or two, maybe we could see a little bit more of him, a little bit more of the men's game for him. But I have hopes for him as long as he can be healthy.
Yeah. Next, let's real quickly, Mofi Jemede. He's a center half again. Unfortunately, he's injured, but Mofi, I think, has the biggest upside of any of our center halves in our academy. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Very quick, good in the air, technically very, very good. He's got leadership in him. He's 18. He'll turn 19 in November. He played he got a scholarship. in 2022-23 season, signed a pro contract November of 2023. He's part of that 21-22 team. So again, the earlier side that actually were the runners up in the Floodlit Cup. And again, he moved up to the 21s at end of last season and was part of the team that won the International Cup last year. But I know you're a big fan of his, T. So I want to talk about Mofi.
Powerhouse at center back. When he was in the summer with the first team, he stood out, just stature wise and ability wise. I love the fact that he's a left-footed center back, which we all know is such a unique and such a necessary position, especially for us with playing three at the back. I just, it stinks that he didn't get this full season of under 21s under his belt. But I honestly think out of all the young guys that we have, between him and Hindelo, I think they have the best chance of being true first team contributors, true first team players. Like, they're that good to me, So I'm interested to see what we do with him coming back after the injury and things, and what it may look like, whether they want him. Because, I mean, like you said, he's only 19, So I don't know if they want to have him do another year of U21s, or if they want to try and find a loan move for him, which I would think would be good, because he, I think he could benefit from playing men's football. But I guess we'll just have to see.
Bruno, I'd love to have you on. We're actually going to get ready to wrap up, but I promise you next time that we do this, I'll definitely have you come on. I didn't know you were interested in doing this. I'll talk to D, but definitely next time we do this, Bruno, I'll definitely have you on. But we appreciate you jumping in there. But any comments in the chat, by the way, I'll be happy to put them up. For instance, like this, Tim, here's your question. Mofi's about 6'3", so, and Bruno would know. So there's that. So the next player I want to get to, I'm going to highlight this guy because Hindelo Mustafa.
Do it.
Wow. Hindelo. Let's see. Hindelo is an attacking midfielder, technically extremely strong, and he's a good finisher. He's also, if you don't know, very good defensively. He signed his pro contract in January of 2024, so a year ago. He's 18 years old. Been at PAS since he's 9 years old. His first U18 goal was versus Fulham in a 2-2 draw. He made 18 appearances and scored 2 goals at age 16. And he was called up to the Sierra Leone men's team in September 24. And he scored off the bench versus Zambia. He is, for me, one of the biggest prospects in our 21 side. I'd like to see him get a loan at some point next year. But I absolutely love this kid. Scored a great goal against City on Sunday. But I know you know a lot about him, T. We talk about him a lot. So what are your thoughts on Hindelo Mustafa?
Fantastic. He is the real deal, man. Size, speed, finishing ability with both feet. He has really good vision as a passer. And like you said, he's actually a really, really good defender. He's a powerhouse, man. He's, in looking at him and watching him, he's probably one of the best academy products we've had in a very, very long time. I know he's young. I do. But I feel like he's like, him and David Ozo were like up there for me for a long time, and I think he's even higher than David Ozo. In being quite honest with you, so I would love for him to go straight into the champ with a loan. It's just me, I'm just saying. But I think this kid is the real deal. I mean, he's playing men's football. He's played men's football already with being called up for Sierra Leone and scoring. So, I mean, he's high on me.
Yeah, and me too. I think he has a massive future, and we'll see what that future holds. Because again, I think it's really, really big. Next, who do we have next? We're gonna have a couple more to go, people. So stick with us. I want to go to. Oh, there he is, Zach Marsh. Now I picked Zach because of how great he was last year in the U18s, and he was away with the first team in Marbella. So obviously, if he's doing that kind of stuff, obviously there's something in there. So Zach I'm gonna say he's a goal scorer. Zach Marsh is a goal scorer. He's a machine.
Best way to put it. Best way to put it.
He's 19 years old. Came to us late, actually, as a U16 player from Watford. He signed his pro contract October 2022. He made 24 appearances in all comps for the U18s in 2023. Had 12 goals and 12 assists, and he won U18 Player of the Season. He was called up to the U18s in May of 2023 for England. Scored his first game against Australia, and in 2023-2024, he had 6 hat tricks during the season.
6 hatties.
Before he got injured, unfortunately, that actually ruined the whole. We're actually having a very good FA Youth Cup run, and Zach got injured, and that really ruined it. For the U18s and U19s, U18s, in 21s, he had 24 goals and 5 assists. I love this kid. Size isn't great, but ability is, to me, he's very technical. It reminds me, actually, funny enough, of Dougie Freeman, but we won't go there. But your thoughts on Zach Marsh?
I think that's the thing. You get goals by the load with this kid, and he just knows where the back of the net is. But the thing is, he has a diminutive stature. It's just the truth. He's not a big guy. He doesn't have very good weight. So naturally, things like what we've seen, injuries can become an issue for him. I think he remained out, and I'm not putting him up there with this guy, but he reminds me of Antoine Griezmann.
Oh wow.
He's a diminutive small forward who just knows how to score. With that being said, I don't know if Zach Marsh's future is in being a 9. Maybe he's more of a shadow striker, an advanced midfielder where he's connecting play, getting shots, things like that. But size-wise, I think it's going to be tough for him to become that true alpha striker in a men's game.
Yeah, I mean, Bruno's right. Marsh is a natural striker, but he's small, and his striking technique isn't great. He takes too long to adjust his body before shooting. So I think that's a matter of him hopefully adjusting. But I think he hasn't come fully back from the injury either. But I think that his size could be a problem. But he is versatile. I noticed he hasn't just played through the middle. He can play as a 10. I say he's been doing for the 21s every once in a while. So we'll see. But yeah, his body type is definitely an issue. Again, I didn't want to cover the guys that have played like Franco, who's played or trained with the first team. But I want to get to this last player. And that would be because he's back from loan and he's scoring goals again. And I have a question about his future, and that would be Ademola Ola Adebomi. So he's currently 21. He was on the first team bench back in September 23 in the third round of the League Cup against Man United, but has yet to make a first team appearance. Powerful forward, been at the club since 8 years old. Part of the team that won the Floodlit Cup with Victor Akinwale. Who else is in that team? Let me just think. Guys on loan now. Victor was on that team. He was. Obviously Goodman was on that team. Whitworth was on that team. That team, very good team. Scored 19 goals all competitions in 21-22. Was out on loan last year to Burton Albion. Had 14 appearances, 2 assists, no goals. Then he went out to Belgium with Beveren. 8 appearances, no goals. My thing with him is that he scored a lot of goals in the 21s. In 22-23, he had 31 appearances, scored 10 goals. And then he scored 13 goals in 18 appearances for 21s in the first half of last year, which is why he got the loan to Burton. But he's back in the 21s, didn't get another loan when he came back. And he's kind of, I wouldn't say he's stuck, but he is stuck because he's playing in 21 football. He's too good for 21s, but is he good enough to play in the first team? I think make it a Palace. But what are your thoughts lastly on Mola?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing with Mola is, like you said, he's too good for 21s. And he's had the Burton Albion loan, and then wasn't he with Beveren too? Was it Beveren that he also had? He
was Beveren, exactly. He was there, yeah.
And I wouldn't say he played bad by any means with either of those teams. I know injury was a part of his time with Beveren. We just need to see more from him at a higher level, if that makes sense. Yeah. My worry is this: if we loan him to League One again, I don't know if he has much of a future.
Right. Exactly. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But his
and
next loan
I
is
don't.
make or break for him. His
Yeah,
next loan he has to score goals wherever it
I
is,
would
whether
say
it's
so,
League One,
and
he got to
stay
score
healthy,
goals and stay healthy. Yes, you're
Yeah,
right. I'm sorry because that's a
absolutely.
good point. At Beveridge, he was injured for
Yeah,
that loan,
at
which is why
Beverly
it
he
didn't
got
work out for
injured.
him.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
he was actually playing pretty well from what they were like. I was following like some of their fan base and some of the things they were saying on the internet and things, and they were talking really highly of him, really liked him, and then he got hurt.
Right.
So,
folks, that's T and I and some of your comments, thoughts on our upcoming stars from the academy. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing it. I did a lot of research
yeah,
today.
for sure. It's always fun.
I love watching. I'm the guy that gets up at 6 a.m. U.S. time to watch the games on Palace TV. That's who I am before the first team plays.
Me too, and I'm an hour behind him.
Exactly, T's now behind me in the Midwest. So we're dedicated. We love watching the youth academy teams. If I'm over there, I always try and catch a game if I can. Either through my nephew who knows some of the 18s, or I'll try and go to 21's games. So I've always been a big academy person. But again, we're trying to do these more often as much as we can. We appreciate all of your interaction. Again, please drop a like, subscribe. Again, thanks for the comments from people like Tim, Bruno Lay, Animal. Let me just catch some other names in here. Let's go. We got George. Luke was in there earlier. Damo, Monty, Mary. We appreciate all your support. We might be back tomorrow with something. I know people have been asking about the what was the question about today again? Was it the Friedman? No, something else came out. What was the news that came out today, T? About something that came out today. There was some news that I didn't bring up.
That apparently we're looking at the directors of football.
A new director of football, correct?
Brentford.
From Brentford, yeah. That'll be covered tomorrow, people. We didn't forget about it,
yeah.
but we're D and hopefully my guy Louis will be talking about that tomorrow. But yeah, we didn't forget about it. But we just want to go over something a little different today. So again, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate all your support. But till next time, up the Palace.
Up the Palace.